Let's get physical, it's Jordan here, back again with an update on all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're in the third week of March 15th until the 19th, Monday to Friday. Retail, low print and imports, plus our community spotlight is back. We want to thank our sponsor of this physical episode, Marvelous Games. Remember, in Europe, on March 26th, Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town is releasing the brand new entry in the well-loved Story of Seasons franchise. This is a game we are excited for, so much so, we made a top 10 reasons as to why. Befriending animals, lots of customization in terms of facilities and so, and of course good old crafting. There's a standard release which, if pre-ordered, can net you a nice buffalo plushie. How can you say no to that? And there's a deluxe edition that comes with all sorts of nice goodies. Purchase links are below if you want to find this for yourself. Big thanks to Marvelous Games for sponsoring this video. Let's get on with this week. Kingdoms of Amalur, or whatever it's called, Re-Reckoning is a much welcome port of a beloved RPG. Personally, I've never played this, but I know plenty of people have and enjoyed its original release. This includes all the DLC, which is nice. If you're looking for some nice RPG action with fluid character customization, I think this could be a nice purchase on the Switch, as long as the game runs nicely. THQ usually do a decent job with that, so I have high hopes. And Punky Dooster, JCross7776, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Saviors of Sapphire Wings and Stranger of Sword City Revisited. Now that's a long ass title. Well, it's two games in one, of course. I believe it's a brand new game packed with an older game, two RPGs. Obviously neither quite big enough for their own standalone release. Still, I love a good double pack, especially of RPGs, as they usually pack the most bang for your buck. This is published by NIS America, so you can expect a certain level of quality. We usually enjoy their titles here, but sadly no review from us because we can barely manage one RPG, never mind two. R.B.I Baseball 21 is possibly releasing in North America this week. As a British guy, I feel I have no right to talk about this whatsoever, so people in the comments below, let me know, is this a good game of baseball? Hit the ball, right? Anyways, Root Film is making its Western debut this week after being released in Japan a while back. This is an independent story, but obviously has some ties to the game's previous title, Root Letter. A game I enjoyed somewhat. Obviously, I haven't played this one yet, but I do have high hopes for it. I'm hoping they kind of rein in the humor a little bit, which fell flat once in a while in Letter. But yeah, I think visual novel mystery fans will want to check this one out, and Brent McLean is one of those. It's his pick of the week. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville Complete Edition was a nice surprise back in the last direct. This was a weird franchise to put into the hero shooter genre, but I think, I heard it works well. This one even has some single player options as well, which is of course very welcome. I don't know, I'd be interested in trying it, but my internet is just complete arse, so I can't do it, there's no point. Anyways, Jonathan Rumo is excited. It's his pick of the week. And that's it for the retail releases as far as I can remember. I don't think there's like anything else coming right now. Yeah, I think that Hyperparasite. Yes, Hyperparasite is possibly releasing this week, at least according to Amazon US. Never can be too sure with Nicholas games though, so I'm not too eager to talk about this one too much since, you know, it's Nicholas, you're guaranteed some level of quality. I can't think of like any Bobbins games that they've released before, I don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping it's something decent. And that is it, right? Of course not. Hades! Yes, Hades is releasing this week physically. I know you're proper excited about it, and also a little worried because this has been sold out regularly in many places so far, but you know, maybe they're just waiting for stock confirmation. Anyways, this is possibly the most hotly anticipated title of the year in terms of getting a physical release. You were all begging for it, and even I regularly got asked if it was happening, as though I'm some sort of beacon of knowledge. Actually, my word processor just auto-corrected that to bacon, so yeah, I'm a beacon of knowledge. I know I'm going to see a million of these next week in the spotlight. And of course, Alolan Jojo, God of Resin, Gannicus Dane Wilkinson, Alisa, it's their pick of the week. The Low Prince Ape Out is getting the special reserve treatment this week. I mean, it can't be too long until they get to Gato Roboto, right? I just want that game so much. I love it. Anyway, come on, special. Anyways, this is a musically infused artsy game that has you as a gorilla smashing the crap out of things. I don't know about this one, you know, it got a lot of praise, but for me, it's a bit more style than substance. I could be wrong, of course. Ape Out players, is it a good game? let me know. There are 3,000 copies of this available on Special Reserve's website on March 16th. I don't know what's happening with the other 2,000 that they're supposed to have at a minimum. Maybe a different release later? I don't know. Alexander Cato and Boombox have chosen this as their pick of the week. And I also want to give a shout out to Premium Edition Games, whose first 2 releases will be shipping around this time, maybe this week. If you remember, this is a new startup. They have Super Blood Hockey and Pigeon Dev Games Collection, which is actually 4 games in one. Awesome P 1 and 2, alongside Bucket Knight and Explosive Jake. People in the US can get these from premiumeditiongames.com, while international folk like myself will need to order from videogamesplus.ca. Alright, let's jump into the imports. If any take your fancy and you like to import them for yourself, then there are import links below in the description and the pinned comment. It helps support this little series especially, and we love you guys' support. Honestly, if you didn't support us like this series would not exist. Thank you ever so much, every single one of you. And yeah, in return you can get a very nice 5% off any order you make, for physical items of course, if you use the code SwitchWatchTV while checking out. That's all one word, SwitchWatchTV, while checking out for 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia. Sadly, there are a few interesting games this week, but not all of them are suited to importing. But the first one is Cotton. The Asian version is supposedly releasing this week. Maybe. It was delayed once already, so who knows if it's going to get pushed back again. What I do know is that the Japanese version, which is already out, is a bit of a peculiarity because it does have English until you update the game. Then English gets taken away. There's an update to remove English language options. I mean, really? If One Step from Eden was taking the piss, taking languages out after release, how about this one? It's ludicrous. Hopefully this isn't anything to do with in games in the West. But yeah, the Asian version, God knows what's going to happen with it. There will probably be a retail release later down the line in the West, or you can order it from Strictly Limited's website if you fancy waiting an eternity for it. Personally, I may get this Asian version as long as there's no like weird update to take away the English and then an update to put it back in again. That would just like annoy me. I don't know, we'll see. The Asian version outright says that there is English, unlike the Japanese one. And there are also 4 more games releasing this week in Japan. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4 is releasing in Japan this week. There's no English. Jack Gene Standard and Limited Edition, no English. Maglum Lord is an interesting looking RPG, sadly there's no English on that either. And Go Train Hashiro Yamanoto Line, no English. Alright, let's jump into the Let's Get Physical Community Spotlight. If you're showed off in this series, then at the end of the month, you'll be in the chance of winning a physical Switch game. Still don't know what it is. Before we get into this theme, I just would like to show off something in my spotlight. Red Art Games were nice enough to send me a package of games again, as they wanted to show them off to you guys, because they know you're all great collectors. Firstly, I struggled to choose which one to do first because I actually was really excited by a good few of these. But I have to go with the collector's edition of My Memory of Us. Red Art Games don't do collector's editions often, but this one did. It comes in a nice, strong box, feels very solid. Big fan of chunky boxes. I mean, you could like properly like whack somebody with this and it would be fine. You wouldn't dent it. Inside this elongated case, you get a double soundtrack CD with a whopping 45 tracks. The double CD case takes me back in the day. Final Fantasy PS1 games, those were the days. It even has a nice little note from the composer. The box also includes a nice art book, elongated to match the box, and it is nice, shows off the game really well, and there's a little bit of commentary from the artist. It's all in English too. Interesting to find out the levels were made in Photoshop and then exported to Unity. You also get a lithograph, which is pretty cool. Of course, you get the game as well, which I've shown off in a previous episode. It's a nice commentary to the game, and it's narrated by Patrick Stewart. All in all, this is a really good collector's edition. As I say, very impressed with the sturdy box. More collector's editions need like this kind of box rather than the flimsy stuff that's often found these days. You can order this now from redartgames.com. Only 500 units of this were made, and there are still some left in stock. And you also get a commendable 10% off anything off their website if you use the code SWATCH10 while checking out. Not an affiliate, we don't earn anything, just something I organized for you guys. Alright, interior artwork. Let's do this. 69 dudes actually sent in your pictures. My choice, well, I didn't have time to open all like 200 of the games back there, so in my collection, So I picked up from memory rather than, what I truly feel is best. Firstly, the Japanese version of Valhalla. This is such a contrast to the actual game itself. It gives a really nice alternative look to the characters. I love the color, and it's just a surprise, when you open up the case. Tokyo Mirage Sessions. We're going to be seeing this one quite a lot. It's beautiful. Love the use of color here. The art style is magnificent too. And also left field choice, I happened to open up Sheltered Generations recently and really enjoyed the interior artwork. Something that's very natural about it, like seeing the lynx trying to take down its prey, all the while in a very stylish art style. I like it a lot. And those are my picks. Let's take a look at yours. Yo Daddy chose these three, including the Japanese version of Moonlighter, which he wanted to inform me included DLC on the cartridge, which is nice. Elu chose these three games. At the top, we've got Aegis Defenders. The bottom one is It'll Do 2, which is a surprisingly popular one in this theme. Cameron Duncan chose these two, both of which we'll see quite a lot. I really like the Monster Boy, the frog dude trying to lick the cartridge. Demigs chose these two. Gotta love that Studio Ghibli style artwork for Ni no Kuni. Jose Torres chose these three. Really like the top one for Blossom Tales. If that doesn't scream classic Zelda, nothing will. James Church chose TMS like myself, and another one very popular with this theme, Catherine. We're going to be seeing that a lot. Brian Mills chose these, Vaporum, a very cool one, very nostalgic horror vibes. That could be in an old school Resi game. Rick Krolbert went for these, including the very minimalistic Gris. Raven Knight also had Children of Morta at the top. My Time at Portia showing off the characters, as well as the epic feeling of Breath of the Wild. Jokey Level chose these. I'm definitely feeling the cyberpunk craze these days, and I almost picked Dex for one of my choices, but I decided on Sheltered Generations instead. Zoka Omi chose these. Really love the Indiana Jones vibe of La Mulana. Nintendo Gamer Gal went with what I assume is one of the Ori games. That's another thing. It's weird how after seeing cover art so much of almost every game, they're all instantly recognizable. Suddenly, only seeing the inside kind of puts me on the back foot in terms of recognition. It takes me ages to realize which games they are. Jay Frosty chose these. Mario 3D World is a good one. Plus, love that Project Warlock from Super Rare. Black and white works really well for that. Parsnip Coffee chose Steam World Quest and Xenoblade, both very popular choices. Executive producer Santa Tartaruga chose these three, citing the humor found in Pixel Heart's Super Trench Attack, winning them over. Inactive Yeti chose these, including the Steenbock of Link's Awakening, which is ridiculously cool. Brian, a different Brian number 2, chose these. Love the badass Link in Age of Calamity. Geese Nuts chose these. Dragon Quest 11, that has really badass vibe to it. You're going on an adventure and you're taking names along the way. Executive producer J Crud 7776 chose these. Always appreciate a bit of Riser in my life. Gavin chose one I pretty much decided on, but then I changed to Shelter just to show something a bit different. I was going to go with Fairy Tail. That was one of my top choices. A great JRPG, great interior artwork, and you guys know why. It's an insta-buy just for that. R.B.I Bolo obviously has some Shantae love. There's really nice Celeste artwork too. Jason Woodbury went in with the It'll Do 2 crew, along with Dead Cells, a classic. VF chose these. Love that Mad Rat Dead, almost cyberpunk, very industrial. Really like it. Transient Image chose these three. Really enjoy that map of Kanto in Pokemon Let's Go. Professor Loney chose these three, including Cthulhu Saves Christmas, and one of the Star Wars games. Bunny Boystrom chose these three, a very rad-looking Crystal Crisis, plus Liar Princess and the Blind Prince. Very beautiful. Visipon went heavy on the Xenoblade, along with a dose of visual novel in Aokana and Maitetsu. MDZ went full adventure here. I think it's just an excuse for me to mention Sakuna again. Champ Dancer went with Astral Chain, looking really cool, Riser 2, and Fairy Tail. Retro Yoshi went with these. Not entirely sure what the brown one is, but I think it may be one of the Deadly Premonition games, maybe. Downwell is also pretty cute too. Crit Cat chose some great ones, including Transistor, very, very cool. Anime chose these. Love the Horizon Chase Turbo. Sky Racer chose these, including Remy Law, which is lovely, development artwork. Nice touch. Executive producer Alyssa chose these three. A couple we've seen before, but also Trials of Mana. 3 great pieces of art in one. Executive producer God of Resin chose these three. Again, Dragon Quest 11, Catherine, and It'll Do 2. I think the developers of that will be really quite proud of their game being shown so often. Streaming on the Corner showed these three. I think one is Donut County, I'm guessing. Looks really cute. West Country Blue chose these. I actually quite like the Burger Time Party artwork. It really does give the feeling of the game justice. Sosha chose these 4. I think they said the top right is Nurse Love Obsession, which is really delicate and dainty. I like it. Certified. You got me with that bottom left one. You got me. I'm guessing it's Bomb Chicken, but I don't know for sure. Roarin', I don't remember Anima getting a physical release. You got me there as well. I don't know what the top one is either. Not very clear for me to see. Love Gunlord though. Golbat Lover chose 1 and went with classic Shantae's. Good choice. MMO Harsa chose these. Some popular ones there in the theme, including Rhyme. Very nice. Riz showed these 3. I think that's Limited Runs Valhalla at the bottom and Clanad top right. Lucci chose these 3, Alcana at the top, Wonder Song at the bottom left, and Spirit of the North. Joel Parker shows some P-Cube love, Nexamon great, beautiful. Inertial Drift is also very cool, surprisingly for the kind of game it is. Max1216 chose these, they thought Yoshi was just too cute. Kishimoto chose these, Black Future 88, and one of the Collar X Malice games. Mayrin is a big fan of Nausea, which is center. Sadly, the Japanese physical does not have English, but apparently you should play this game anyways. Peter Clark chose these, Murder by Numbers top left, Mai Tetsu top right, and The World Ends With You stuck in the middle. Alexander Kato went minimalistic with these choices, very zen, pure, unadulterated, but then he went and spoiled it all by sending in another picture of these. Corey Graham sent in these, Demo is beautiful, and Pokken Tournament, that's pretty badass. Jayton obviously loves Pikmin, alongside Luigi's Mansion 3 and Breath of the Wild. Yusha chose these 3, Jump King, the Japanese exclusive, that's pretty epic. Dane Wilkinson chose these 3, really nice. Link's Awakening, love the dark clouds rolling in. And Dane Wilkinson's son, I think he had the better taste this time around if I'm being honest, with Transistor and Astral Chain. Cartoon Soren showed off some ukulele love, really like the bottom one. Flower Angel Rave chose these 3. Sakuna, just say that one more time to get my weekly quota up, to an acceptable level. Robin Hatherall chose these. Captain Tsubasa, that's pretty epic. Full of manga there. Joshua Brown chose these 3, including one of the Blaster Master games. Personally, I'm really looking forward to the Trilogy Triple Pack exclusive to Japan this summertime. I really hope it has English. Craw showed off these Giga Wrecker Alt. Bottom left is fantastic. Also, many thanks for using our links and code on 3 Kingdoms 14. I know you're all on tenterhooks and waiting on news of my conquering of China. And finally, during my 8-hour round trip last weekend, I finally created my empire. It only took 50 hours. Not bad. Love that game. Obscurus Gaming chose Aragami, the stealth supernatural ninja game. Very nice. Pabs chose these, showing some nice artwork. Not sure what that bottom game is on the right, but it has intrigued me. Lord Thanos chose one of the Blaster Master Zero games. Very nice, of course. Lars chose these games, including one we haven't seen at all yet, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Vey chose this very recent release of A-Train, which is super cute, showing someone placing items in the city. That's a really nice touch. It's an import exclusive with English. Sadly, I just did not have the time to review it. Sven chose these. I love the nod to Super Mario Bros. In the Axiom Verge physical. That is a nice touch. And finally, we have Brent McLean, who chose a couple of left field choices. Really glad I've seen these. The top one is Siberia, the first game. It's the EU version. And the bottom is Destiny Connect. I had no idea these two had such beautiful artworks inside. Of course, all the games here, there may be regional differences. Depends on the publisher. Anyways, guys, I enjoy seeing what you guys have. Next week is a normal week. I know you guys also sent in a ton of normal photos over the past 2 weeks, and I can apologize right now, but I think I'm going to have to start from scratch. I haven't saved any of the normal submissions so far, and I'm not going to delve into, 2 to 3 weeks to find them all. It's just going to be too much work for me. So if there's a picture that you sent and you really want me to show it, please send it again. You can send me your pictures on Twitter over at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me, or you can tag me in a post and use the hashtag Let's Get Physical. And we have a new email address. Yes, a new one. The old one is just too clogged, easy for me to miss, and it's also complete arse gravy. So yeah, if you're an emailer, send it to our email at switchwatchspotlight@gmail.com. switchwatchspotlight@gmail.com. Plus, we have a Discord, which is a nice way for us to have a chat with you guys, and you can send your pictures there in the submissions section. Discord server is below. Right, hope you enjoyed this massive episode of New Physical. Special thanks to our executive producers Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumo, Gannicus, Santa Tartaruga, Lolan Jojo, Alexander Cato, J Cross 7776, Lisa, and our brand new executive Punky Dudester, and all the others who joined our memberships. Thank you ever so much for your support. Check out last week's episode in case you missed it. Plus, we have a lot of content that you may want to check out. We'll see you guys over there. Take care.